Nothing is real to me, damn it. The wrestling podcast that no one asked for and it doesn't care about ratings or ticket sales or any of that. We don't care about tribalism or any of that. That's why we're going to talk about AEW pay per views right off the bat. What? We've never talked about AEW on this show before. Yeah, well, we're going to do it now. Triller TV Plus, formerly known as Fight Plus or just Fight. Anyway. They've already had AEW Revolution because Bleacher Report was kind of with it, and plus they were only letting you watch it for 3 days after you paid for it, and that's boo boo. That is boo boo, my friends. But anyway, it was just announced today that Dynasty, Double or Nothing, and Forbidden Door are also going to be available on Triller TV Plus. So your boy is probably going to be getting an AEW pay per view in the very near future. I hope Tony Khan has learned from that whole thing with Revolution and continues to work with Triller TV Plus. But speaking of pay-per-views on Triller TV Plus, and it's also going to be available on NJPW World, Windy City Riot is just jam-packed full of great wrestling. Shota Umino versus Jack Perry. Don't call him Jungle Boy. Respect that man. Respect that man. Don't call him Jungle Boy. Man, it's really too much to list off right now, but Mustafa Ali is going to be there. There's going to be a four-way match with Gorillas of Destiny for the tag championships. It is just packed. It's going to be great. First of the month is coming up, so if you don't have NJPW World, go ahead and get that because that's just how Japanese companies bill. They're going to bill you on the first of the month regardless. So if you want it, get it at the first of the month. But anyway, that's going to be great, and Sakura Genesis is going to be before that, but we're going to see probably a title change, I'm thinking. But we shall see. Road to Sakura Genesis, I think it's going to be like 3 days, maybe. I'm not entirely sure on that, but it's going to be a lot of great wrestling. I happen to love NJPW, and I've only been watching since the first of this year, so hey, there you go. I tend to watch different brands for different reasons. And before I get into that, I want to talk about, since we're talking about NJPW, Alex Coughlin having to retire at 30 after only a 6-year wrestling career. I have to wonder if it had anything to do with their feud with United Empire that wound up being it culminated in a 64-minute cage match style match where they dismantled the ring and just beat the bejesus out of each other for 64 minutes. Francesco Akira has to take medication because of blood loss. It looks like he has zits and everything. It's just now starting to clear up. Alex Coughlin is having to retire due to an undisclosed neck injury. Maybe because of that series, but I don't want to speculate too much. I don't want to be your average, wrestling podcaster. I want to do something a little bit different. I want to add a little bit more logic into it. And on that note, we're going to move on into what I am calling, for now, WWE Attitude Era 2.0. Yes, I have notes. I have notes, people. So, what they're doing right now with the build up to WrestleMania that hardly even has anything to do with Roman Reigns, it feels like, right? It feels like The Rock versus Cody. And in the back of my head, I still feel like The Rock is going to turn on Roman Reigns. But I'm so unsure. And that's one of the great things about wrestling. Am I right or am I wrong? But we had profanity, we had blood, we had a lot of the things we haven't seen on WWE in a long time, and a lot of people are really excited about it. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Even though I watch Raw and, well, mostly just Raw on replays, so I miss a lot of show, but they still show me the main bits, the main storyline. But yeah, I did not see Bronson Reed versus Sami Zayn. Who cut that out entirely. So I'm personally excited for Raw moving to Netflix because I don't have cable. That's why I don't watch AEW. That's the only reason I don't watch AEW. Might by Dynasty, though. I'm going to be trying to follow that and see if it's Swerve Strickland versus Samoa Joe. But I'm not trying to jump around too much. But I am going to go ahead and jump to... Oh, wait. No, I'm not going to jump yet because I want to talk about WrestleMania real quick. Some things that I didn't talk about in the last episode. I'm going to go more than 10 minutes probably. But Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I think Drew is actually going to win. And I don't think I've said this on a podcast before. I've said it on social media posts. You can follow me on Instagram and I guess Facebook if you really want to message me and find me personally. But anyway, Drew McIntyre is going to win. Damian Priest is going to come in and cash in and spark a whole feud between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest and the rest of Judgment Day because they stole his moment. And now the fan base is going to feel like, damn, yeah, you were totally justified in your fantastic heel work that, according to Drew, isn't heel work. I'm just telling the truth. It's my terrible Scottish accent. It's horrible. But anyway, apart from that, I mean, I don't know what's on which night yet, but the card looks absolutely phenomenal. Best WrestleMania ever? I don't know. Recency bias, perhaps, but I have no idea. I'm just trying to enjoy wrestling in the present moment, and that's what this show is all about, really. And speaking of things going on in sort of the present moment and around WrestleMania weekend, GCW The Collective. It's 11 shows over the course of 3 days. It is a lot of wrestling. Again, Triller TV Plus, that's where you find a lot of this indie stuff. If you're hating on the indies, this is not the show for you. We just enjoy wrestling over here. Tell me what your favorite indie is in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah. I haven't done that yet because it's YouTube. I'm still kind of new to this. This particular format. But, man, there's too much to talk about. I'm still trying to keep this under 10 minutes, but Kenta versus Gringo Loco at Defy's event is going to be amazing. Like, I just learned about that today. For the Culture looks great. How High looks great. Big Gay Brunch 9. That looks great. Max the Impaler versus Sawyer Wreck. That's going to be one that I'm looking at because I'm a Max the Impaler fan. Hey, NWA, come on, man. Gotta represent. But big Max the Impaler fan, if y'all didn't already know. But yeah, Alex Kane is gonna show up at For the Culture, so I'm excited about that. And like I said, there's too much to talk about, but Too Cold Scorpio, the Stoner Brothers, like you gotta watch GCW The Collective. And Jacob and Zilla Fatu in a 4-way Punjabi prison match for the GCW tag team titles. What I think is going to happen is they're going to win that match. They're going to finally dethrone Violence is Forever as the GCW tag team champions. And we might just see them at WrestleMania because they're members of the Bloodline. They've been repping Bloodline during GCW events, throwing up the ones. Like, I'm saying, WWE and GCW has a deal right now. I'm not reaching that far. I do want to see this happen, so I admit I am reaching. I want this to happen, but it is not that far-fetched. But anyway, moving on, I'm going to wrap up this show in 11 minutes, maybe. I want to talk about NWA for the last little bit here. I am loving the new season of Power. I happen to really enjoy what Billy Corgan is doing with as much junk as I talk. You know, I didn't like what they did with Paranoia at first, but I understand now that I'm seeing it on CW. And speaking of CW, Brian Idol went on Wrestling News CO. I might be wrong there. They went on some wrestling podcast recently. Bad notes. But they went and cleared up some misconceptions and everything. Basically, just it's like I've been thinking to myself for the last few months. if you just pay attention to what people are saying, don't infer, then you will get the gist of the story. So, what he was saying during this interview was nothing that I didn't already infer. They never announced that they had a we're going on live TV weekly deal. That's something that the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, a bunch of adult 15-year-olds, and some 15-year-olds. No disrespect to the actual 15-year-olds, but yeah, they just make up stuff, kind of like Dave Meltzer. Just make up stuff because that's wrestling, and I'm trying not to do that on this show. But Brian Idol said out of his own mouth he is going to be the national promoter for NWA, and the cocaine spot at Sawin had nothing to do with the CW deal. CW does not care. If you look at the CW app, they have plenty of crime dramas and stuff like that. There is probably drug use on those shows. CW doesn't care, man. They knew what they were getting with NWA when they signed NWA, like I've said on social media posts before. And before I go too much longer, I'm just going to wrap it up on that. And also, I'm guessing that since Brian Idol is the national promoter for NWA now, he's going to be at least a finalist in that national championship tournament that they have going on. And speaking of tournaments, I just want to say again that NJ Cup was fantastic. And if you don't understand the rules for the AEW Continental Tournament, whatever the hell they call it, you're just hating. You just want to hate. You don't understand how tournaments work. It's not difficult to understand. Which leads me to my closing point. We got to stop this bickering amongst each other, because y'all are about to find out real soon that Forbidden Doors are going to go away entirely. It's a new era in WWE. He who will not be named is now gone, and our guy Triple H is doing the damn thing right now. He's really cooking, and man, we got TNA people showing up. They got Masha Slamovich versus Shayna Baszler at GCW, the Collective. It's wide open. It's the best time ever to be a wrestling fan. And please don't take this stuff too seriously. It started off as a carnival scam to just take people's money. Can you